this I thought was really interesting, and we're kind of getting into some nuanced areas here because I think this is fascinating. On the forefront of it, my initial reaction is I hate that. But also, I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts. There are British police in Surrey, which is a city or region. I don't really know the UK all that well, but British police, basically, female police dressed up in plain clothes, but also just jogging attire, and we're jogging around the community in order to elicit cat calls, I guess, which they've mentioned wasn't illegal, but the program, this pilot program, lasted for a month, and they actually made 18 arrests for harassment and other things like theft. Andrew, I don't know. I'm super uncomfortable with police officers kind of putting themselves in positions to entice people to commit crimes. But at the same time, if jogging in jogging apparel makes somebody think, hey, I can rob that lady, turns out she's a cop, especially with the denigration of European culture as a whole, I'm not entirely sure that I firmly fall on either side of this thing.
Well, yeah, and especially in the UK where they're arresting you for saying the wrong thing
Yeah.
online, that they're concerned about this one when actual criminals are getting arrested. I understand the kind of the libertarian principle behind this and entrapment, and it's like the government overreach. But on the other hand, I also firmly believe in the idea that one act one act or certain types of behavior are indicative of a much deeper pathological problem, and this is one of those that has always bothered me. So putting aside any political principle, just on its surface, guys who catcall and are like, hey baby, and make all those noises blow my mind, because has there ever been an instance in the world ever in history where somebody catcalled and then the lady was like, oh yeah, I like that, right? It's just very low IQ behavior. So people who would do that are broken to begin with, and they probably have other issues that would lead to much bigger crimes. So I'm 100% okay with this. Actually, I think we should do more of it.
Interesting. Yeah. Again, culturally speaking, people don't understand the cultural dynamics. There has to be something done if you actually commit a crime too. Yeah, you should be arrested and tried for that. Savannah, I guess a question obvious. The first one is: has that ever worked on you? Has catcalling ever worked? And if so, tell us about it. But also, if not, what is happening here in the UK? And I hate to bury the lead here. Do you have any insight into the cultural differences that have afflicted the United Kingdom, our neighbors across the pond?
Yeah, the best, I guess, response to this that I saw was as soon as they figure out the demographic that is committing the majority of these catcalls, this program's going to be shut down real quick. Now, going into this topic as a woman, right? Because sure, I've been catcalled before, but it is a very rare thing. And I live in the United States of America. I guarantee you it's even more rare in the UK. So to be quite honest with you, I think that this is their police state drumming up issues that don't truly exist. Instead of actually focusing in on protecting people, this is just another way to come in and essentially trample over people's rights and their ability to speak. Because what is catcalling then at this point? For example, just this last weekend, I was walking into Chick-fil-A to get some lunch. This guy stops me and goes, hey, I just want to say you're really beautiful. If I decide that's catcalling, is that man going to then get arrested in the UK? It's a huge slippery slope. And to be quite honest with you, the catcalling and this entire program here, I do feel is just drumming up a problem that does not need to be focused in on when the entire country is dealing with like Pakistani grooming gangs that are targeting young girls and raping them. Like, what the hell are we doing? Sorry.
No, and then that's again a good point. And I think your early point of like the demographics of who's doing the catcalling might actually play into that. In which case, maybe there's some benefit to it, even though it's, like you said, a slippery slope. Really, kind of sticky stuff. I know we're not usually into the trickier type of topics here, but I appreciate you guys playing along and talking about it.